Hi everyone, so welcome to today's session of my videos. If today is your first time of chancing on my channel, my name is Richard Mensah and I'm a first year PhD student in Information and Communication Studies here at the University of Tennessee. I'm from Ghana and I was once like you as an international student who came to do my master's here at Iowa State, and currently I'm doing my PhD. So I've received a lot of messages and a lot of text and a lot of queries from people who are asking me how can they also embark on this journey that I've embarked on to get to where I am today. And so I've been providing answers to people in DMs, and I've been assisting some people reviewing documents and all that, and I also have been assisting people to secure admission and then study opportunities abroad. But I think that doing it individually is not helping because same questions keep coming every now and then. So I decided to create this channel and to create these videos for you, my audience, so that the video can be there, right? So that as time goes on, anytime someone needs something, they can just get back to these videos, and then it helps you on what you should look out for or what you should do based on what your questions are. So my first video, I talked about things that you can look forward for on this channel. In today's session, we are going to talk about documents that you may need to have to apply to schools abroad or to even apply for visa, because sometimes there are those who are not even interested in education abroad, but they just want to travel, right? But then we will start from the student's point of view or the student perspective, then we progress to other additional documents that anyone who is willing to travel or who wants to travel must get. So when it comes to documents that you may need to apply for schools abroad, I categorize them into two. The first category is what I call a primary document. So what are primary documents? Those are documents that you need to submit your application, right? Your admission. You need to use those documents, submit your admission, and then or submit your school application, and then when you are admitted, before you can proceed to what? The secondary document. So one of such documents, or one of the first documents that I would want to mention, is your traveling passport. Your traveling passport is very, very important because the school will use it as your information, as it has your information, right, to create your biodata or your page, or to create your I-20 when you are admitted. So your traveling passport is what? Number one primary document. The second document and the primary document is your academic transcript and certificate. When you finish school, whether you finish JHS, SHS, university where you have your master's or your PhD or your undergraduate, you need to go to your institution to request for transcripts. So transcript is also another document that you will need to have. Transcripts and certificate goes hand in hand, but most of the times institutions require more of transcripts than certificate, because the transcripts give them the breakdown of courses that you've done, right? So when they take your transcript, they can be able to tell whether you've completed a 4-year bachelor program, a 3-year bachelor program, or a diploma program, or a high school program. So transcript is very, very important, and then the certificate, right? The next thing that the institutions look out for is your resume. Some people also call it CV. So sometimes, depending on the school you are applying to, they will ask you to either upload your resume. Other places too, they will ask you to upload your CV. Along the line, I'll be creating videos on how to create some of these documents that you can create, those that you can create, and then how to even request some of them from your institutions that you have completed. But today, we are just talking general about what documents do I need, because people keep asking this question: what document do I need to, go to study abroad? So that is why I'm creating some of these videos, right? Okay, so resume. The next one you need is your SOP, or your statement of purpose, or your statement of interest, right? People have different names for it, but it's basically a 2-page, sometimes depending on the school they give you 500 words to write, indicating why you want to apply to this program and what you seek to achieve. Or if you have some supervisor, professor, or an advisor whose study area interests you, you want to work with, you mention that in your statement of purpose. It varies from school to school, it varies from program to program, it varies from level to level. When you're applying to PhD, it's different. When you're applying for masters, it's different. And when you're applying to undergraduates too, it's different, because your statement of purpose for an undergraduate program will differ from your statement of purpose for your master's program, and your statement of purpose for your PhD program will also be different. But be it statement of purpose or statement of interest, you still have to know what they are asking you to put in this document, and then you can write that. I'll also talk about, or I'll also take you through how you can write some of these essays yourself. Another thing that most schools ask for, especially when you're applying for masters abroad, is writing sample or creative work. Depending on the program you're applying to, they will ask you to provide writing sample. A lot of times people will ask me, what do I use as my writing sample? So you see, when you are in school, you do some little projects or some little class works and all that. Those can be your writing sample, because some of the universities will ask you to make it 10-page writing sample or 5-page writing sample. So other than that too, sometimes you can use your research work, right? The undergraduate thesis work that you've done, you can use it as your writing sample. So that is also that one. Writing sample can be your thesis or your final creative project. Some school will also ask you to upload your creative project. So sometimes people produce documentaries, people produce videos, people produce artistic works. Yeah, you can use that as your, writing sample, or as your creative project or creative skills work. So those are the primary documents. Now let's quickly look at the secondary document. And the secondary document, it's after when you are admitted that the secondary document comes in. So the secondary document, one of the first things that you have to keep in mind is your bank statement, right? Along the line, we will talk about how you can even build your bank statement, how to get a good bank statement. But for now, I'll just mention the secondary document. The secondary document, the first one is bank statement, right? Which shows proof of fund, and if you can be able to cover your cost of attendance of the university or the institution you are going to. The second one is what I term as asset document. Asset can be movable and non-movable, right? And then it can translate into business, house, farm, marriage documents, investments, accounts or investment that you have, work, job, pay slip, appointment letter, and any other relevant documents that you may have that you think that you can use it to support your application. Now, these documents, if you're applying to the US, some of them becomes irrelevant. Some of them becomes also important when you're applying to maybe study in Canada, or when you're applying to travel to Canada, or when you're applying to travel to any other places like the European country, right? So the purpose of this channel is to help you understand some of these things. The primary documents and then the secondary documents. When I mention the primary documents, I'm mentioning your passport, traveling passport, your academic transcript and certificate, your resume, SOP or statement of purpose or statement of interest, writing sample, and then in your secondary documents, I'm talking about your bank statements, movable assets and non-movable assets, pay slip, employment letter, investment records, marriage certificate, farm, house, or any other thing. So this is where I'll end this recording for today, and I'll bring you in the next session how you can search for some of the schools, and in searching for some of the schools, what you should be looking forward for in our next episode. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned. Bye bye.